So this video is going to be a little different than kind of my normal ones. This is just going to be my blind reaction to the new CraftersMC Skyblock patch that was just released earlier today. So let's get into it. This is 0.5.1 and so let's see, we squashed a ton of bugs, worked some systems, and talked with Derek the Builder, and we got a haunting surprise. So that sounds fun. And as you saw, we're going into the spooky festival, so that's going to be exciting. I know a lot of people were hoping for things like fishing, mining, but I figured it would be something smaller, kind of more like this. Honestly, I wasn't really expecting much of anything at all. Like new content wise, I try not to get my hopes too far up. So I had my expectations low. I was looking more like I thought it could just be straight up bug fixes and game improvements. But I know with the leak, people thought there's going to be at least like a new mob or something. So I see where that came from. But yeah, so Spooky Festival. Tarek arrives at the village center on the 57th day of autumn. I'm assuming that's in game. And the whole area looks cool. So I'm assuming this is what it looks like. I like that ghost. That ghost is awesome. Uh, anything else? And it looks, this is awesome. I always like when they do custom looking things. And then the festival itself. Oh, so this, okay, so Tarek arrives earlier than the festival. So it's from the 60th to the 62nd. So three, yep. So it is Skyblock days. So yeah, it's looks like it's gonna be very similar to the Hypixel version. Collect candy, get spooky mobs. Got a leaderboard. I'm assuming this is just during the festival. I don't think this is like an all-time thing. Although it would be kind of cool to see who got the most of all time, but that would just kind of be. I feel like that would be a very luck-based leaderboard overall. So Spooky Festival, Fearmonger. Okay. So killing mobs anywhere on public islands drops candy. So it's green and purple candies. So you get candy score. And then, so in the graveyard in the wilderness, you get spooky mobs. So you got like a witch. I'm assuming those bats are part of it. That witch is so green. Wow. Stop. Uh, yeah. I do like it. The witch looks very silly, and I always like when they look a little like non-serious. All right, so these spooky mobs, they drop more candy and festival exclusive materials such as ectoplasm, vampire fangs. Okay, so this was the graveyard in the wilderness, so I imagine those areas are going to be very competitive. I wonder if the graveyard carries down into like the crypts at all. So like, I mean, they're labeled as different areas, so I don't think they will, but it'll be interesting to see. And then killing mobs also has a chance to drop the trick or treat chest. So get candy and spooky items or a trick. Stay on guard. Wonder what that's a little ominous. Hopefully if you get a trick you still get something out of it. Like maybe I'm assuming it's some sort of like mini boss or something along those lines. Hopefully those drop something too. And it could just be candy and spooky items like the treat. But well, it depends on how frequent these are, because I feel like if they're pretty rare and you get unlucky with a lot of tricks and the tricks don't give you much, that could be a point of frustration. Then we got the Headless Horseman. Summon it using the Horseman's Candle that you buy from Tarek. Oops, I did not mean to click into that. So that's cool. So when it falls, everyone who fought it, okay, so it's like a group thing. So the player who dealt the most damage, as long as whoever spawned it, get a spooky fragment. Man, why does Spooky get all of these things named after him? I want something named after me. Where's the TV fragment? Right, and so that's used for making spooky gear. So once it ends, you get rewards from Tarek, and then just like farming contests, you'll get put in brackets based on your score. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it'll be good for the first while, and this event's going to be rarer than farming contests, so you'll probably see much more participation. But I'm really hoping this bracket system, if it's like exactly the same as farming contests or very similar in style, I'm hoping that off-hour players don't get shafted kind of like they do with farming contests where like in months when this event kind of gets a little less popular, if there's only, so many players playing it during off hours, like will we get stuck where you can only get silver at most? Because that is very frustrating in farming contests. And I hope that like depending on how the rewards are split up, like if if it's like farming contests or like the main rewards are at gold, like as long as you consistently can get gold, I think that's fine. But if there's a lot of rewards locked up in platinum and diamond, then those require a lot of players. That could that could be bad if not enough players are playing at the time. And then Esoteric's shop brings new items. Oh, these look really fun. Got the little I like the bad ears. Those are cute. And then the little pumpkin, is that like a grenade or who knows? I'm sure they'll tell us later. Oh, is it like you must upgrade these armors. So is this like an armor progression? Because it looks like that's the chest plate, and then this goes to Bat Person, which I'm assuming is that. So there must be a progression here. So yeah, you got Bat Person stuff, so spooky fragments and ectoplasm. Make us the Bat Person. So pretty bad base stats, but all combat stats are multiplied at night or even more during the spooky festival, and then you get more candies. Oh, and you remove the grappling hook cooldown and it goes faster. So that's cool. The stat boost is, whatever. I can't imagine I mean, it's kind of like mushroom armor where you can kind of do some really silly things in that regard with the huge multiplicative stats. But I think the main part's going to be the candy. And the grappling hook's just kind of fun for zooming around. And then, yeah, it shows up in the Skyblock calendar. New blocks. Okay, I know a lot of people are excited for this. Personally, I don't do much building. New blocks be like, that's funny. I know a lot of people are excited for this. We got the new flowers. There's so many blocks like I don't even recognize from vanilla. I'm pretty sure that's a vanilla thing that came with like the sniffer stuff. But I'm so behind on vanilla Minecraft features. I'm still in like I'm still like the mining update is kind of where I'm at mentally, like when they first added deep slate and expanded the depths. That's kind of where my brain's at. But it took me forever to even get there. I remember for the longest time I was like stuck on 1.8, 1.9. Like, yeah, especially 1.9 when they first added the end. I was really mentally stuck there. So we got custom blocks, so endstone, obsidian, crying obsidian, dragon flame. Okay, dragon flame veins. That sounds cool. So we got some cool custom blocks. I'm sure people who enjoy building will have fun with that. And then, yeah, they added a bunch of vanilla stuff. So cherry, a lot of the woods, new stone brick, full block list. I'm not going to show that off. Like I said, builders are going to be very happy with that. Me, myself, not something I care too much in, but I'm very glad they added it. And then new originals resources. What in the world? That's a that's an awesome fit. And then yeah, the blaze armor. Okay, so yeah, added a bunch of new models. I'm That's always cool. I know a lot of people like with the frozen blaze and whatnot. Some people liked that change, some people didn't. I think it's cool that they're updating the textures and making them more custom and more RPG-like. That's cool. That's fun. And I think there's something to be said about content that's not necessarily that's more cosmetic wise. I think that's a cool way for them to branch out. And the stats improvements, it shows a breakdown of the stats. Okay, so you can see like the base value. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I- it's good for player accessibility. I think I mean a lot of people are younger who play this, so they might not necessarily be able to. It'll just make seeing where their stats are coming from a little easier. So I think that's good. I'm not going to complain about that. Furniture limit. Oh, I know this was a big one people wanted. Especially since the cakes were added and those count as furniture. I know a lot of people wanted more furniture limit, especially if they keep adding like these furnitures with the skin packs like with they had with Easter and whatnot. I know the Easter bundle had a ton. Valentine's had a few. So if you're placing all of those, that adds up very quickly. And like I said, with the cakes, there's 14 of those. So that was almost half of your furniture limit already if you wanted to have all of those cakes. So Uh, ooh, and it's an instant upgrade time. So oh yeah, upgrade cost 210. No, I like the instant upgrade time. I wish there were more like that, or at least a reduction in some. Like right now, I'm upgrading my island size, and that does improve. That can improve like your farming output and whatnot because you have to turn less. So I kind of get why it's a time thing because it does give you an advantage. Kind of like minion slots, those give you an advantage, so it takes time to upgrade. So I think it kind of makes sense in that regard, but it's just so slow and can be fairly frustrating just to have to sit there and wait, especially when each upgrade offers so little and you need to stack up so many and they take so long. Like there's a lot of upgrades you have to do. So if each one is like 2 days and 4 days and 8 days or whatever progression, and you have to do that 5 to 10 times, that's months you have to wait. So I'm glad to see an instant time, especially when this is a purely cosmetic thing. And I think it makes sense for them to have it as gems too. I imagine these furniture entities probably put a little strain on their servers, so give them a little bit of money to help them reduce their lag and whatnot. And then Glacial Trident rework. Ooh, this has been a hot item. So, okay, so increased its collision range. Reworked the ability to do melee instead of ability damage. And reduce the max use duration. So it reaches full power faster. So I think these are all for the abilities then. I think that's overall good. I know I personally don't have a Glacial Trident myself. I haven't played around with it yet, but I know a lot of people were very disenthused with the ability. So I think this is a step in the right direction. I'm glad they're improving the ability. And if the ability actually becomes like good and viable and usable, I think they can go into looking more at its actual base stats because I know that's been a big point of contention too. There's a lot of people like because it has. what is it, like 430, 420, somewhere around there, like base damage, which is insanely high. I mean, that's only a little bit lower than like a giant sword over on Hypixel. So I know like balance wise, that's been a big complaint is it's just really, really strong just as a melee weapon. We don't get to see much of that now since like Slayers have their own weapons for them. Like, and then like Wolf with Permafrost and Pooch Sword, that's been another big point of contention. So with how strong those have been, there's not really a place right now for the Trident to shine other than like Endstone Protectors. But so hopefully one, this ability rework will let it have more of a place right now, and two, let them adjust the base damage numbers so it doesn't end up absolutely wrecking balance later. And farming changes. Fix bugs affecting farming fortune. So effective farming fortune included crop fortune from every crop type. Huh. I never really noticed that, but I mean, maybe. Let's see, because I was getting about 1,000,000 carrots per contest. So if this reduces that, that's going to be a little rough. And then fungi cutters, we're granting 330 effect. Okay, that's funny. So that's probably why a lot of people were kind of obsessed with mushrooms. Although mushroom prices on Bazaar are still pretty low, so nothing super important. I'm glad, you know, bug fixes are always good, and then they've reset the PBs. I'm glad they did that. So I'll have to see where I'm at with my carrot contests now, because like I said, I was getting about 1,000,000 per contest. So I'd like to see if I can even make it that far anymore, or how that's going to change. And then we've changed NPC cell, wheat 1 to 2. That's good. Wheat has been so bad. And then carrot 1 to th dude, it's my patch. They love me. Oh, this is great. It's screw everything I said about like Spooky getting everything and not me. This is amazing. Holy cow. Like I used to make, I don't know, probably 4 to 5 million an hour off of carrots, including crappies. So like this will probably bring me up to 10 mil an hour. As well, that assumes I can still get 1,000,000 in 20 minutes, which with these crop fortune changes we'll have to see. Potato 1 to 2, that's good. Pumpkin, what? That's crazy. I guess it probably keeps these in line with this. I barely farm pumpkins. So I don't even know what a reasonable amount in one contest was like. So this probably brings it about in line with everything else. Melon, zero point 0.5 to 1. So I think that's a revert to what it was in when it was quote unquote bugged. So I think people are going to be happy about that. Hopefully it's still in line with everything. Mushroom buff, that's great. Cactus, beetroot. Okay, those are sugar. So I think these are all just to bring everything more in line with where cocoa's at. And I think this is a fantastic way to go about it. Because I know a lot of people are complaining about how, because cocoa beans rely so much on the system you're playing on. So I think bringing everything up to speed with it is great. This will probably cause some inflation, but I don't think that's too big of a concern right now. At least personally, I know some people think there's way too much inflation going on, but a lot of money was already coming from cocoa beans. Bringing everything else up will cause inflation, but it won't, like, so many things right now are already deflated to a fair point. Like, especially things you want mid-game, like a lot of your Slayer stuff. So regarding like Viscera, wolf teeth are a little high, but that's because no one likes doing wolf. And then Like drops have been so low for so long. Like es- especially after they got nuked in the year 300 event. Like wolf drop prices are absolutely terrible right now. Zombie drop prices are in a decent place, but I don't think it would hurt to go up more because like Atoned Heart I think is right now like 250 mil. This will probably bring it up to maybe like a 350 mil or something at most. And I think that's fair. I think that's a good spot for it to be. So yeah, enough about my thoughts on inflation. So small changes in bug fixes, getting more than 1,000 blocks away from a public island center teleports you back to spot. Trust me, you won't be finding any other islands out there. Okay, that just seems silly, but I'm sure there's something reworked the code. Okay, fixes a bug. I'm sure that's important. Community shop now reopens the upgrade. Okay, that's good. That's nice. Special zealots immune to knockback. That's good. I know some people were getting trolled by people who were abusing the aspect of the dragon's ability. I wonder if they changed anything with shiny pigs because you can yeet other people's shiny pigs with the AOTD. Day night indicator. Okay. Wasn't there already, wasn't that already a thing? Like, am I crazy? I could have sworn like there's a little icon that was already next to the time that it, but I could be crazy. Maybe that was just on your island or something. Or maybe it only appears if you're using the freezer items. I don't know, but we'll see. Change statistic icon. Okay. Added true defense to I didn't realize that was missing, but I guess that's good. E-man this okay, this is good. Thank God. I probably have hundreds of E-man pets sitting in my pets menu. Getting all of them out is gonna be a pain. But like as long as it's a okay sell price, I think that's good. Like nothing too high, but still worth enough to be worth like actually selling. And it'll just help unclog the auction house because there's just a million low-level E-man pets in it. Hamster wheels can be NPCs for 20,000 coins. Wh- what are they smoking? That is insane. Like 5K coins would have been fine, plenty fine. 20, oh my Lord. That seems like a lot. Granted, I'm not super familiar with wolves, but like on Bazaar, I think what were they like 8K or something? I don't even know. That's gonna be have they done anything with foul flesh ever? I don't even know. All right. Added a catalyst and hyper catalyst. That's it. Bazaar, that's good. Tiger pet hemorrhage. I don't remember I think that's the bleed one. So pretty much meaningless because it's what like 1K DPS. Oh man. Oh, enchant. Okay, that's nice. Being able to water blocks, that's great. Ex- let's see. Okay, I'm assuming that this is one. So that was I. It, okay. I mean, I'm sure the Wither skeleton was super meta for dragons because of this, but a bug is a bug, deserves to be fixed. Uh, uh, okay, this is nice. I've had this issue a couple of times. It's nothing major because I have like so many extra XP bottles, but it's good. Uh, okay, I'm sure that's nice for the three F Scythe users that are still left. Mm-hmm. Okay, B pet. I'm sure people were abusing this absorption too. I'm sure that was so meta, but I'm gonna keep making fun of these bug fixes, but at the end of the day, bugs should be fixed, even if they're silly. Improve placement logic. Okay. This is good. I've been planning on making a T5 Wolf complaint video for a bit now because it's not fun to do and there's so many things that suck about it. But this seems good. Okay, fixed a bug. Okay, okay. Fix vamp. Yeah, I'm sure so many people use enchantment books. Like I save the ones that I randomly get from the experiment table. I don't use them. I should just throw them out at this point. Uh Fixed AOTS reaching 17 stacks instead of 16. Okay. Yeah, because the that ability is so relevant right now. Like, if anything, this would actually make it decent. Like, because like the 2x stacking is that it starts very low damage wise because it's what like 10% of your base. But if you have the mana to stack it, like maybe you could meme and do like insane amounts of damage, but at the same time, like if someone can throw 17 stacks without like 17 stacks worth of AOTS without running out of mana, just let them do that. Like it's gonna be a super late game pl person. Like if someone's using these extra stacks to like one shot a T5 rev, let them at this point. I feel like we've kind of like giving people silly things is kind of fun, but like I keep saying, bug's a bug. Glad they fixed it. Let's see. Only for player place logs instead of natural ones. Okay, that's goofy. Okay, this Ender node one is nice. That was a great point of frustration. When I actually did Ender nodes, I haven't done those for ages. Um, okay, this is nice. It allows you to see, actually see what your tiered armor is gonna do. Glad about that. Mhm. Fix Blaze Armor's Blazing Aura ability being usable to launch shiny pigs while holding a shiny. So does that mean like instead of having to click on the shiny pig with the shiny orb, the aura would do it for you? That is goofy. I almost want that to be back in. That's funny. And I don't feel like it really hurts anything, unless if it allowed you to go past the two pig limit. If someone could just run around procking all of the pigs, that could be annoying in a way to grief. But if you still have the two pig limit, that's assuming I'm understanding this bug fix correctly and what the bug was. Let's see. So changed Ender Dragon's pet end strike ability from an additive base weapon damage to an additive damage multiplier. So I think that just makes it better. I think I'm not super knowledgeable on how the damage calculation works, but I assume this only affects the base damage, or is this if like this is added at the end? If I understand that correctly. So I think that's a buff. All right. Hmm. Reworked shiny pig behavior to use our new mob AI system. Hey, As long as they stop running into areas where you can't click them with orbs, I don't care what they do. Well, as long as they don't make it ridiculously hard to like smack them into the orbs. Hmm. Okay, arrows connected via telekinesis, not being added to you. That's nice. That's a good thing to fix. Fix fancy. Tuxedo applying its +2 additive damage multiplier twice. The whole fancy tuxedo situation has been awful, honestly. I'm gonna get on my soapbox here, but I do think that this bug needed to either be fixed quicker, they needed to disable the item, or they needed to announce that it was okay to abuse this bug sooner. Because there was so long where we were just in limbo, where it's like there are a ton of people abusing it, but we didn't know if it was legal or not. So people who wanted to play it safe were at such a disadvantage when doing like dragons and stuff. And then you'd have leechers come in and bug abuse. And if they were the only bug abuser in the lobby, like they were basically guaranteed first. So I think the situation could have been handled better, like I said, either by disabling the item, fixing the bug sooner, or just announcing that people could abuse the bug. I think any of those three are justifiable options. But yeah, I hope in the future they handle situations like that a little better because I know a lot of people were fairly frustrated with the handling of that. All right, fixture. Builder's one upper limit now increases with island size. I didn't know that was a thing, but I'm glad it is now as I'm upgrading my island size. Perfect. You can now stack catalysts and hyper catalysts to 64. That's very good. Wait. Fix incoming damage to dragons and protectors being counted twice. So is that the damage you do to dragons and the protector? Is it incoming to them? So it's not incoming from them. So I'm assuming it's the damage you deal to the dragons and protectors. I didn't realize it's being counted twice. Hopefully that doesn't make them like, oh, is it just counted twice? So like, is that just the leaderboard damage and not the actual damage to the mob? So like if I'm assuming that's what it means, hopefully, because if it's the actual damage, those things are going to be monsters to kill if it was being doubled, because it's already hard enough. But I'm assuming it's just for the leaderboard. Okay, that's good. Added a max stack limit of 20 to talisman and a ring. All right, I have no idea what these do. I totally forgot. But I'm sure do they give speed? Maybe that's it. Okay. All right, harvesters now can now count up to 1 quintillion. All right, 1 quintillion cane harvester when I don't know why it's ever at 1 billion. 1 billion is too low. It should have at least been like 100 billion. Uh, could have been 10 billion. They would have had to raise 10 billion earlier, eventually. Because 1 billion only takes a few hundred hours to hit. So 10 billion would be a few thousand hours. I don't know if anyone will ever go for a 10 billion harvester, but anything past that I don't think is realistic to hit. Fixed farm suitability working per piece. Oh man, not the farm suit. That was overpowered. Pigment sortability. Another thing, way too overpowered. Oh my goodness. Fixed are the pack. Okay, it now shows properly. Hopefully they buff it at some point. I'd like to see Armor of the Pack have some form of use. It seems like such a cool set, but it's just not useful. Blaze Armor, F Blaze, no longer reset AFK timers, just AFK prevention, that's good. Uh, Reduced magical power multiplier used in stat calculations. 2.0036 from 0.0039. So they nerfed MP? Why? Why? It's okay. Surely that means we'll see new magical power added. I'm sure that was added with the spooky festival, hopefully. All right. Oh no, creeper pants, another thing that was overpowered. Uh, Acacia and Dark Oak Glides are being affected by mining. Okay, that is. How does that happen? That is so goofy. And those are like the only logs people harvest too. I mean, other than like spruce. Like especially acacia. I can't imagine people like min-maxing their foraging fortune to try to get acacia stop or something. And they're just getting shafted. That's a little goofy. Mhm. Updated Emerald and YouTube ranks to okay. More friends. Don't I'm sure I'll be using that. Me and like all what like 10 friends I have added. But especially for YouTubers, I think that's nice. I know some of them like to add a lot of friends and it's just full. And then some E ranks just have a ton of friends too. I'm just a lonely person. Nobody likes me. But surely, I'll get the YouTube rank tomorrow, I'm sure, with all like 3 viewers I have. And then this will be super useful for me because I'll be super famous. Everyone will want to add me. All right, added total votes counter. That's good. Help keep track. New players now connect directly to Skyblock. All right, we're still in beta and other under continuous heavy development. Yeah, report bugs, and I think that's the end of the notes. Uh, we'll scroll through see if there's any interesting comments. Yeah, I agree with the Umar Ali changelog. Very impressed. I agree. Very impressive changelog. I'm very happy. We got troubles. He's happy about the wheats. Imagine not having a 3 coin crop though. Carrot, absolutely solos wheat. I'm surprised they didn't upgrade it, like buff any of the seed coin values. I feel like they could have maybe popped those up a little bit. Uh, thought there'd be a fish. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't like fishing would have been cool. I think it was too big for what they were leaking. Mhm. No spider, no end update. Were people like expecting peop things to be added to the end? Like I know there are inklings of that, but realistically, what would they add other than E-Man? And we're way too early for E-Man. Spider could have been cool. Obviously, Crab Slayer would have been very nice, but low-key useless tiny update. I think people are way too critical of this update. A big issue is so many people hyped themselves up way too much. They said it was going to be something fairly minor and like not a major patch, and everyone was like, "That means fishing." And it's like, it could be, but I would not expect it. Like I mentioned earlier on, like my expectations were bug fixes and some minor changes. Like that's where my expectations were, and anything above that was just added bonus. So like the spooky festival, added bonus, and I think keeping your expectations more realistic, like I did, helps you appreciate what the developers are doing a lot more. But yeah, overall, I think this is a good patch. I think the spooky festival is going to be fun, and of course, all the fixes are going to be great. I don't know if I have much else to input on this. Yeah, it's basically what they said. Just yeah, a lot of fixes. The spooky event's gonna be fun. I hopefully while I'm making this, this video, there's not one going on, and I'm completely missing it. But yeah, I'll have to hop in game now, check it out, see kind of what's going on, and hope, maybe I'll make something on the spooky event. I'm not sure. There's a shiny pig event coming up in a couple of days, so we'll probably do that and maybe make a video. Probably not, unless if anything silly happens. Probably just make a short, to be honest. Spooky festival, yeah, might make a video. I'll probably at least make a short on it, depending on what the content all is, and then I'll have to go back and work on some of my farming PBs since those got reset. Hopefully they properly reset in the API too. Uh, get those leaderboards going. I mean, not that I did particularly well in those leaderboards, but like I think I was top 10 carrot or something. But some of those old PBs were ridiculous. I don't know how those were accomplished, but yeah. So thanks for watching. I kind of rambled a lot here, but hopefully you could at least make sense of some of my ramblings and kind of enjoyed my input on the topic. Yeah, but overall, I'm fairly pleased with this patch. So yeah, call it a day. Thanks for watching.